and is past president of this club, Erin West. Welcome, Erin West. Come up. Camera on you.
Sure. I'll do that. Yep.
She knows more.
All right. Okay.
Now it's the opposite. I don't know why. There, just hit the upper right hand, hover over that. There you go.
Okay. So today we'll be talking about the Brat stand. Our first Brat stand is September 3rd. So that's in a little over 2 weeks. It is Saturday. It's a 6 p.m. game. All of you are going to be there and all of you online, right? So I am pleased to let you know also that we have, as of this morning, we've got both of our permits. So we're all set and ready to go on the September 3rd. Sorry, I'm trying to have two views here at one time. All right, so a little Brat stand history. Wanted to start with the original idea for the Brat stand started in 1972. As we all know, our club was founded in 1967. So a couple of years after the club had begun, there was kind of this idea that the club wanted a better way to raise money for our charitable efforts. And so in the fall of 1972, at a Rotary fireside chat at Joe Daniels' house, some members, Dick Rayberg and Dick Hers, had both recently moved from Madison, to Madison from Sheboygan, where they had the world famous Bratwurst Day, and decided this could be a really cool fundraising idea to bring to Madison, especially with the number of people that come to the Badger football games. And so the location of Madison South Rotary Park was decided because this was a spot where Joe Daniels Construction Company had a contract to level a gas station that was across the street from Camp Randall that was located on city property. And apparently the president, Jerry Sturgis, was a city employee, and he pulled some political strings and got permission to use that little triangle of land as a place for us to have a Brat stand. And they negotiated that also with the railroad because it was a railroad property. And then in May of 1985, when George Kroll was president of the club, the club purchased the property from the railroad for $14,000 and deeded it to the city to build the fire station that we all know is there, and retained a right to dispense bratwurst, coffee, pop, and miscellaneous food and drink items during football games at Camp Randall. Coffee and pop. Yep. So the logistics of the first couple years of the Brat stand was, for the first game in 1973, the club parked cars for $1 and $5 for a motorhome, but quickly realized that brats and beer were more profitable than parking cars. And so after 1974, the parking lot idea was no more, and we just focused on selling brats and beers. The desire to sell the authentic Sheboygan bratwurst required raw brats to arrive from Sheboygan on the Friday before the game. And the buns were special ordered from Gardner Bakery, delivered to the stand on Saturday morning. The brats were prepared on large, like picnic type charcoal grills. And because they were raw, they usually took about a half an hour or more to fully cook each brat. And then the brats were stewed in a concoction of beer, butter, and onions as part of the Sheboygan, which is a German tradition for drinking beers. The club sold single and double brats. I don't know if it was like two in the same bun, I think. Pepsi, Sprite, and canned beer. So it was originally canned beer, Erin, that was cooled in a cattle watering tank that was filled with ice. We've come a long way, guys. The impact of the Brat stand over the years since 1973 that we've had it has been absolutely massive. The estimated lifetime sales is over 1.85 million, and estimated lifetime profits of 1.2 million. As we know, the profits from the Brat Stand that we generate go to local charitable organizations through our grants, international projects and scholarships, and the tips have gone to the polio fund. So that's a little bit of the history of the Brat Stand for you guys. Let's talk about the recent history. With the 2021 season, our sales were $60,331.80. And of that, we netted a profit of $42,362.21, which is about a 70% profit, which is pretty good. Our tips for last year were $5,277.30, which was an all-time record for tips. So we did really well with the tips last year. Just for some perspective, our highest grossing sales was achieved in 2011, and that was $80,889. That was probably Jay. 2011 was our highest. I don't know. That's possible. Maybe there was more games. Oh, I bet that was Ohio State, Nebraska. So there's a little competition with the Brat Stand. My goals for this season, last year, I think we were still experiencing some of the restrictions with the COVID and not having as many people actually coming to the games. So hopefully this year will be better. I am targeting a sales goal of 75,000 with a profit of 52,500 and tips of 5,500. So I'm hoping for a new tip high point.
Higher sales. We're gonna lose.
Yeah. So where is the Brat Stand? Oh, I had a little yellow thing that. The Brat Stand is in this little triangle right here across the street from Camp Randall, which you see is up here, the field house, and then the fire station is there. So it's right along, right along the Southwest commuter path, which was the old railroad tracks. When you drive past it, it looks like a teeny tiny little sliver of land. So it's surprising that we can get hundreds of people onto there and a couple of trailers and all that, but it works. So that's what the Brat Stand, where the Brat Stand physically is located. So there's a lot of tasks for the club members to do as volunteers, which means that everyone really needs to participate in making the Brat Stand happen. So the game day tasks that we have are hauling the trailers. In the morning, we park both of the trailers at Frank Beer, which is over in Middleton. And then, so you have to bring them down to the Brat Stand, setting up, of course, having cooks, runners, wrappers, sales, condiments, beer and soda, cashier, and monitoring the gates, because we have to make sure that only the correct amount of people come in and out of the Brat Stand. So sign up this year, we will again be using Sign Up Genius, which you guys are all familiar with. So it'll continue with business as usual in that way.
Can you define the runner?
Oh, what a runner is? Sure. So a runner typically pairs with a cashier. So the cashier will be the one that actually is handling the money. And a runner would kind of be standing next to them to listen to what the customer is ordering. And then while the cashier is dealing with the money, the runner is going to get, let's say the order was 2 brats and a Miller Lite. So the runner is going to go grab the Miller Lite and the 2 brats, bring it back. The cashier will have by that point done the money exchange and gotten
salesperson.
Oh, sorry, I keep saying cashier. Sales. Yes, you're right. Sales. And this year we'll be having a couple more of the credit card readers, since obviously that's becoming a more prominent form of payment for people. So we'll be doing more credit card readers and also still cash, of course. So like I said, signups will be online. Please volunteer for at least 4 home games, more if possible. I should calculate it out in terms of how many club members we have and how many volunteer spots there are for each game, but it's a lot more than 4 if we divide it. So we need not only you, but your friends and your family to come and volunteer as well. Note that there is not any on-site parking available. So you most people park on the street or in like nearby parking ramps or something like that and walk over. Or bike if you're a downtown resident, like some people now. Flexibility is appreciated. So if you're signing up for something, but let's say you signed up to work as a salesperson, but then nobody shows up to do the gates, I may need you to move over and do that as a, on the fly decision. So we really appreciate that people can be flexible in terms of what tasks they're doing and not just, sticking to that one thing that they signed up for. Here is our 2022 schedule. It is I think it's going to be a good schedule for us in terms of keeping the sales high because we have a lot of early season games and a lot of evening or afternoon games, which those tend to be historically the ones that generate the most profits. So our first game is, like I said, Saturday, September 3rd at 6 p.m., which means that the volunteering shifts will start probably around like 12 or noon for that day. The next two games are 2:30 games. So we've got 3 games in September that are all afternoon or evening. October, we've got the October 1st game versus Illinois. We don't know that start time yet. October 22nd versus Purdue is at 2:30 p.m. Well, and then in November, then we've got 2 Saturdays in November as well. November 5th versus Maryland and November 26th versus Minnesota. And those are both TBD for the game time as well. So if you want like vacations, do them in October between the 1st and 22nd. No 11 o'clock games so far. Yeah, because those can be some early morning for Brat Stand. So the preseason tasks, we talked about the game day tasks for volunteers. We also need volunteers for the preseason tasks. That includes getting the trailers ready, which shout out to those people that were there at Joe Ballas's house on Thursday, because the trailers are looking real nice. We got it all cleaned out, and here's a picture of us on Thursday. We toasted our efforts afterward with a beer in Joe's driveway, his newly finished driveway. So then next Monday, as part of our 5th Monday project, we will be doing the setup for the fence and kind of cleanup of the grounds of the park. So I think 6 or 8 people have already signed up for that, which is great. We could probably use a couple more if you guys want to come out. That will be next Monday, the 29th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Rotary Park. So we'll be doing some like as shown here in this picture of last year, we'll be taking down some branches, cutting some like vines and overgrown things, and basically getting the park set up.
Somebody has one of those small electric chainsaws.
Oh yeah, a small electric chainsaw would be good, or like those fence post things, the pounding thing. Yeah, we do have that one. Yep, but it can go faster with more. So definitely could use more help there. Bring gardening gloves or yard gloves or whatever, so that your manicures don't get.
And will there be parking
Um,
on Monday?
I don't think so. I would not plan to park because that parking lot that's there is for the fire station the rest of the time. So I would not park in it. There will probably, there will probably be ample street parking, I would think, but which you wouldn't see on game day. But okay, yeah. I would not plan to park like in the parking lot of the fire station though.
How does the sign look? Might need to go thing.
Which sign?
The mask.
Oh yeah, I'll show you that in the next slide. Well, that's it last year. We might want to do some like redo a little bit yellow on it maybe.
Did you paint it last year?
We did not paint it last year, so I don't know the last time that it got painted, but yeah, so I'm your Brat Czarina. Happy to be the first Czarina. That is my email address and my cell phone number. So if you need to contact me on game day or something like that, or have questions, like text is probably the best way. Yes. Glenn.
Background information, the city has imposed a quota capacity, and that's what the person at the gate is there to enforce
Oh, sorry, do you want me to go back?
the ins and the outs count. And usually the one game a season may involve stopping people from going in, requesting that they wait, and then eventually letting them in as people leave.
Yeah, so the gates is a really important one for people to be working at. Do you guys want me to bring the slide back up? Sorry, trying to.
Gray said that he has both an electric chainsaw and a post powder.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Any other questions that anyone has?
So did you raise prices with costs going up?
Correct. So the prices are going to be $7 all around. So $7 for beers, $7 for brats, $7 for burgers, $2 for water and soda. The rationale for that is that the prices have raised, obviously, our costs. So
Okay.
What is soda and water?
$2. Yeah.
Is there any new beverages?
There will be some new beverages. I've been sampling them. It is a perk of being the Brat Czar. You get to meet with the Frank beverage guy and he brings you like cases of different IPAs to sample. So, yeah. Yeah, so, and we'll be having a Vizzy Mimosa, which if we do have any morning games, like I'm thinking maybe that could be a good morning beverage seller for people. It does actually taste like a mimosa, so it was good. Yes, George.
I'm really concerned about our numbers in the 53 games in a row. I guess one answer is trying to improve.
Mm-hmm.
Kids make great runners.
Mhm.
And family members, obviously, it's a fun event. So, I think everybody knows that, but I guess really.
Yeah. Yeah, for those online that kind of hear, there are 3 games back to back in September, and it's like more, I think more than just the people that are in this room and online that we need to like band together to make this fundraiser and project amazing. And so you really do need to recruit your friends and family to come and help out. So yeah, as long as like kids can be runners.
What age would you say?
Rappers. I mean, how old are your kids when they were running? Like,
My kids were 8 when they were running,
Yeah.
but they can't run beer.
that's right. So they have to
Do
be
a sandwich.
18 to touch the alcohol.
So it's hard. There isn't a lot for kids to do aside from rap.
Right. So the kids can rap, the kids can do condiments is a thing that we have too. So, yep, soda and water.
Adults do this now because it's beer and soda combined.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Are there signups like ready now where we can share the link out with people?
Yeah, I have the first one ready, so I'll send that out today for people and you can share it. Yes, Jay.
What year is this of our Brat stand?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me do math.
50.
Well, 50, the actual sales from there was 73,
73 was the first year that we had it.
but 72 was when it was founded.
See,
So
so we're going with 50.
Well, now I feel like I need to have like a 50th anniversary something.
We're not celebrating 50 years banner.
Aaron and I are going to kick off the virtual purchase of the first 50 brats for the Brat stand.
Ah, love
We'll
it.
make a contribution to the Brat stand for those first 50 brats.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what-
I saw
are
it.
they
Huh?
People
you're gonna buy,
These were writing a check.
oh, okay.
They're donating.
Yeah.
They're the brats are now pre-cooked, so they're pre-cooked. It's fine.
Also afraid about being the sign that says celebrating 50 years, because nobody do
Well,
that
that's a
banner.
great idea.
I will, yep, I'll email him today about that. That would be really cool.
But Jay, those drops you're
I
buying,
think that banner up for 2-3 years. It's debatable.
and Jay, those drops you're buying are not free to the public, are they?
Right, it's
They're
just,
just-
gonna write.
you're just
50
giving
times
money.
$7, $350 between the two of us.
Okay.
Donated to the Brat stand.
Be clear.
Change your budget.
My goal, yeah.
I thought you meant that like the first 50 people that walk in. are
Yeah.
They can still buy theirs. Yeah, they can buy their own.
All right, anything else? Other questions?
So it sounds like the magic number is around 40 staff, entire standard.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
The number's tricky. We talked about this last year. Like, I'll sign up for a day and be there the whole day. I'll be
That's
there to
right.
wrap, to sell and to help.
Yeah.
So like, it's really, yeah, so I think in sign up genius, if you plan to do multiple roles, you should put your name in multiple.
Agreed. Agreed. So yeah, if you're planning, the people that are doing, and that's a really good point. If you're doing, trailer pickup, but then you're also doing setup and you're also doing sales, like you can do all three of those.
It makes
Totally.
Erin less nervous, I think, when she looks at that.
Yeah.
Like if she knows that she can count on somebody being there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's different than.
Yeah.
signing up for 2 hours. So.
Yeah.
You adjusting the wrappers, sometimes I think the wrappers are there a little early, earlier than they need to be.
Okay.
And the sales too.
Sales, yeah.
You don't need the whole
I don't
crew
know,
of
you need
sales.
two shifts of wrapper, I just cook, so I'm thinking Mr. Wrapper.
Yeah, but Joe's there early. And that's the key.
That's.
You got to get the Bloody Mary. Yeah. So I should have mentioned that for those who have not been to a Brat Stand before, but Joe Ballas makes very yummy Bloody Marys for the volunteers. And he can make virgin ones for the non drinkers or people under 21 as well. So George,
Do we have the same start time for the later games as we do for 11 o'clock games, or how's that?
the same.
In terms of when you actually start sales?
Oh, so the sales, I think we always start 3 hours before game time.
Even if it's a 2:30 game.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm thinking the 6 o'clock, I want to see people now. At about 3 o'clock everywhere.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
3 hours before a game though.
Kickoff, before kickoff.
3 hours before kickoff is when we start sales.
I think for the
Yes, sir.
first game that's at 6 PM though,
Yeah,
Joe
that makes
Dallas was hoping that people would help clean up the grills, so they were like super fresh.
Oh, okay. I'll have that shift start earlier then. The grillers can start a little earlier. Okay, good point. All right. One other thing I wanted to mention is that for the last couple of years, you guys know that we've had Ellen Bernards as the cashier, and she can't make it to the first few games this season. So I would really like somebody to be the cashier that wants to volunteer, because there's a couple of special things that come along with that, getting the money and everything. Yes, Glenn.
And the cashier does not deal with the public, only the sellers.
That's right. So the cashier's job is to kind of get the money, or I can get the money in advance. But then the cashier stocks the aprons for the sellers. And then kind of the cashier themselves or a assistant of the cashier runs around and makes sure during the sales that all of the sellers have enough cash for making change. And if they have large bills, kind of taking that back to make sure that it's not, getting lost or anything like that, emptying tip jars and things like that. So, and then the cashier does not have to really add the money up at the end. They just put it all in a bank bag, and we take it to the bank afterwards. So you don't really have to do math even.
Helen was the assistant, correct? Because she'd come up to the sellers and ask if we needed more bills.
She was the cashier. Yeah. She left her assistant sitting because she liked to run around it. Yeah.
She was the cashier.
Yes, Steve.
Remember the Ronald McDonald person who came and spoke to us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Are we doing anything with all our cans in terms of recycling?
We do recycle them. We have recycling bins. So, I mean, it could be if somebody wants to be taking all the tabs off of them.
Well, I did a little math, because I've
Yeah.
been doing that at home, if they gave out those little boxes, so I've been filling it up and giving enough to do. But I'm not sure it's worth it for the club. It takes 20 of those tabs to get up to penny.
Oh,
Yeah, so I mean, for the amount of time it would take, it probably isn't worth it.
Yeah.
20 tabs for a penny, yeah. But I just want to make sure we weren't just like tossing the little
no, they go in the recycling.
I think that's probably.
Unless we have young kids there and they're looking for something to do, you could always get them on the tab.
Yeah.
How many beers do we sell in a year?
Thousands. I don't know.
$10. I will give you $20. I'll double it if you cash it out to not have to have my kids do that.
All right. Anything else? While we're here, we have one more minute. Should I look at the chats? Were there any questions there? No? Yeah.
I would like to see the Genius sign up come out, not just like one game at a time, but so that you have some options in locking that down. So yeah, I think it would help you
Okay.
if you had, signups more than just a week before, so that we can sign up for multiple weeks in advance.
Okay. Yeah, I was planning to send it out like 2 weeks before, but
We don't have game time for some.
I don't want people to get
For all the ones that
confused.
Yeah, for all the ones that are set, could we do those sign up Geniuses now?
I can. I just don't want people to get confused which one they're signing up with. But if you guys would rather see it,
I think the first three.
the first ones,
The first
I mean,
three.
it's easy enough for me to make them, so I can link to them. Just pay attention to which game you're signing up for.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You send it acknowledgement, right?
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
So people will see.
Yeah.
Shortly before.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for an amazing season and thanks everyone.
Not only is she the first woman, but I believe she's the first ex-president to do this, like the year after. Oh, really?
That's a lot of work. Yes, thank you. Well, thank you, Erin, for your presentation today. We make a contribution for all our speakers to Rotary International's and Polio Plus funds. We will do the same for you. Next week, no meeting here. We are going to be doing a service project with, we're going to be cleaning up the Rotary Park for the Brat stand next Monday at 4 from 4 to 6 p.m. So no meeting for the 5th Monday.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the joint meeting is here?
The joint board meeting between the two, between the foundation and the club board will be here at 10:30 next Monday. So if anybody wants to come to that, yeah, that'll be here from 10:30 to probably 11:30, 12. So, and then we have Labor Day the week after that. So no meeting on Labor Day Monday. And then next meeting, next time we're here in person is September 12th, when Jim Gilmore from the American Family Children's Hospital will be here. So, yes.
So you just said that we do not have another club meeting until after the first round.
Correct.
After
After the second Brat
And
stand.
the second round, we have 2 Brat stands before we meet again.
Yes,
Remember that when we see the sign ups.
yes. Yeah, sign up early and often. Here we go. Stuff the ballot box.
Oh, really quick, they're probably gone now, but if you were on Zoom last week, we did not take Zoom attendance, so please let Erin know or Leanne that whoever's taking that attendance, because my Zoom account didn't pick up registration.
Yeah, and I've got a bunch of emails. I think I shared with you most of them. I got one more this morning. I'll grab, but I think we'll get caught up with Leanne. So, that's all I have for you this week. Thank you for being present in person and on Zoom. And remember, service above self. Have a great week, Rotary Week.